Back in July of this year, 2021, my wife and I decided to leave our network marketing business with Amway. Now, if you've ever heard of Amway, you probably already know that they are one of the largest network marketing or MLM companies out there. And in this video, I'm going to go through exactly the reason why I left that business. So before we get started, do me a favor, smash that like button, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of the content coming out in the future, and hit that notification bell so that way you can get notified when I put out new content. I do a lot of digital marketing, email marketing, affiliate marketing strategies on here. But today I am going to talk about why my wife and I left the Amway business. Now, before I get into the rest of what's going on and the full reasons and everything, I want to tell you a little bit of a story of how I got involved with Amway in the first place. So back in 2005, I actually started my first MLM company, which was selling meat door to door. I'm not going to name the company because they're out of business and it doesn't matter anymore. But the thing that it was is that you went to this building, you picked up cases of frozen meat, and they had mini cases inside that had like steak and chicken and seafood and whatever. And you would basically drive around the area and go door to door and sell these cases of meat to customers. And the way that it was an MLM business is that you would basically ask your buddies to come work with you, and you would give them a truck. And so the company would provide them a truck, but they signed up under you, so you would get a cut of their profits. And so the way that that worked is that you would buy the cases and you would sell it to them for a little bit more than what you bought it for. And then you would make a little money on that, and they go sell it to make their profits. That's how you bought your cases of meat, and that's how they would buy their cases of meat. But signing a person up gave you a discount on how much you paid for the cases of meat. So the more people you got working for you, the cheaper the cases of meat got. Typical MLM business, you get paid more on the more people you bring in. And through the years after that, I had gone through different things. I had sold vacuums, I had sold air purifiers, I was selling health insurance door to door to farmers and other people living out in the country. And at one point in time, my wife had gotten into doing personal care products, and we were going to I tried my hand at Herbalife. We were going to actually, the same time that we were in process of talking to somebody about Amway, a friend of ours tried to get us back into Herbalife. And just a lot of that stuff, it really didn't stick with us very well. But what happened is when we met this couple back in 2018, one of the things that stood out to us was the way they held themselves. They were very genuine, authentic. They had a high level of integrity, and they were a little bit older too. So they weren't these young bucks going around trying to hype people up. They were just like, hey, are you interested in making extra money? Now, by this point in time, my wife and I had already built up a career in the corporate world where, I was making close to six figures myself. My wife was making a little bit less than that. And so we had already been putting together a successful life in the corporate world, but we hated having to work all the time. And so the idea that they told us of being able to make some extra money to help pay off debt and, take care of certain things, we've got school loans to pay off, those things really stood out to us as a reason to get into a solid business. Now, they didn't tell me what it was right away, so I will admit I was a little skeptical, and they wanted me to go to a meeting, and I kind of knew what that was about because I'd been around the block before. They want you to go to this info session, and you go in and you do the info session, and they show you the business plan, and then they ask you what you think about it, and you go from there. So we did that. Or I did it first, and then my wife came to a different one later. And here's the thing. We joined because of what the business promised, right? They promised this life of being able to be debt-free and job-free and all these kinds of things. And they promised that it was a great group of people. Now, I will say when it comes to delivering those promises, they always had this caveat, right? Is that it's all up to you. The business is all up to you. So if you put in the work and you come to the events and you do the things and you follow our instructions, then people will just fall in your lap, basically, right? They're like, you'll never have a problem building this business. I will admit that was a little skewed, and I'm not salty about it at all, but I will say that it definitely took a lot more work to make a little bit of money versus just going to my day job. I go put in time, I make money, I move on. My mindset was a little skewed as well, but that first year was a little tough, but I started seeing that long-term vision and I wanted to do more. So we started going to the events. Every 2 weeks there was a meeting. Every month there was a bigger meeting with the overall team. Every few months there was conferences where we'd go to different places, all over the country, mostly the Midwest and the East Coast, but that's where our group was mainly. And I'll admit, we met a lot of really great people. We learned how to manage our time, our money, and even our relationships better by being around these people. The people themselves were genuinely great. The group that we had, they were local. We didn't have some big time guru off in the distance coming through town doing meetings and then just disappearing. These were people that were right down the street from us that we didn't even know, but we got to know them over the course of a few years. And while our lives were improving, it started opening up other things that I started noticing online. Now, I'm a techie guy. If you've watched any of my other videos, I love technology. I love automation. I love apps and tools and all this stuff. And so I'm online all the time because of my job. And I see all these things going on. And the more that we talked about our business, the more that these recruiting tactics started popping up, right?
Okay.
And so I started looking into some of these. I wanted to see what was possible, to see if we could recruit some more people, make some more sales, do some things online. And that brought in a new type of marketing that I was never aware of before called affiliate marketing. Now, if you don't know what affiliate marketing is basically where other people have products and you market those products and make sales and you make a direct commission. Now, network marketing or MLM and affiliate marketing have a lot of similarities, right? In most network marketing businesses, you are selling somebody else's product. In our case, it was Amway's products. And those products were vitamins and energy drinks and meal bars and shakes and home goods and cleaners. I mean, they had a whole slew of different things. And so it's kind of the same, but in the network marketing MLM industry, they call it direct sales. You're basically selling these products direct to a customer, and then you make a percentage of the money based on how large your team is, how much volume you pushed, things like that. So in this process, I started realizing that I could probably bridge the two together. And I started utilizing some of the products to get people in the door. And then I would add on my Amway business and say, hey, if you liked this, there's a way that you could build on top of that. But the hard part was when I started coming into some pressure from the Amway side of things. So one of the things is their guidelines. They have a lot of strict guidelines on what you can and can't say about the products online. So I have to try to be really vague. I'd have to try to provide information to people without actually providing information to them. And they had some pretty steep ramifications if you violated their guidelines. So one of the things was that you could potentially lose your, what they called an IBO-ship or independent business owner. They had fancy names for a lot of things, as you can imagine. So that was one of the threats they had, right? Was that if you do these things and you get caught, then you could potentially lose your IBO-ship.
What?
Another thing that they had guidelines on was the amount of information that you could share without their knowledge, right? So they had what they called business support materials where you could share this information, but it had to be either approved information from Amway or from one of their leadership organizations. And then you had to make sure that it followed their guidelines by getting a stamp of approval. And if you didn't have that, technically that's, again, grounds for losing your IBO-ship.
That's whack.
So they had all these rules in place of ways that you couldn't market the business online. They made it very difficult to really, truly do it online unless you were using their tactics, which were long and drawn out processes. You get somebody in meetings and spend 15, 30, maybe even 45 minutes with them. You invite them to an hour meeting, hour and a half-ish, somewhere around there, to go over a business plan. And then you would basically meet with them a couple other times to make sure that they're a right fit. And by the end of it, you're going 3-4 weeks sometimes getting these people in different meetings to show them all this information to make sure they know everything, because that's what Amway wants, because they want to make sure that their people are educated and not just buying in and quitting out. They try to build that loyalty before they even start in the business, which in reality, if I'm being honest, they're finding ways to try to build excitement. The ways that the meetings are structured is a way to show them the end result before they even look at what it takes to do the work. And then the idea is you get them in the door and they've already committed to this, so then they're just going to do the work anyways, because why would they waste the money, right? And so their training platform, I will admit, it's very different from what people are used to, but it's very kind of a corporate-like training. You go to meetings, you go to events, you listen to people speak about different topics, you take notes, and you go back and try to apply it. In affiliate marketing, it's fairly similar as well, except you can kind of do things more on your own time versus always going to these specific events. But I learned a lot through these different worlds, right? I started learning a lot about the online world, running ads, advertising, marketing, that kind of stuff that Amway really doesn't teach people. They teach you to go out and shake hands and make friends, and then that's kind of where it goes. And hopefully you can introduce them to the business. So what happened is that the people that love to go out and about and tell people about what they do, whether it's friends, family, strangers, that kind of stuff, it's going to work for them. Now, there's people who don't mind that. I don't mind being social, but I didn't like the feeling of just every conversation being a potential customer or a potential IBO. And that's what they were teaching, right? They teach you just share. But they teach you to share it with your friends and family first. And then they want you to make a list of everybody you know and reach out to those people. And if you don't reach out to everybody, you're not doing enough, right? If you don't make sure that you talk to every person on your list at least 2 or 3 times, then you're not putting enough effort to really build a standard foundation of your business. And so it started to feel kind of dirty. I mean, being honest, I have no hate for the company. I don't. They taught us a lot of good things. But I started seeing where my priorities lie. And it started pushing me more towards the affiliate marketing world because of the fact that I had more freedom to do what I wanted. And so I came to a realization that I needed to make a choice. And the realization came when we were at an event and there was a speaker on stage that talked about this thing that's, holding on to you, right? Like the monkey on your back. And it's just holding on to you and holding on to you, and you need to let it go. And it's the thing that's holding you back in your business. And I knew right away. We're at an Amway event, and I'm thinking to myself, that's the one that's holding me back.
Whoa.
And so what happened was I started looking at our businesses. We had 2 businesses running. We had our Amway business, and we had our online marketing, affiliate marketing business. And I started looking at the revenue, I started looking at the expenses, and I realized that every month over month, we were actually in the red with Amway. Now, we were making money by this time, but keep in mind, there's products to buy, there's events to buy tickets to. There's, our meeting that we went to every other week was an hour and a half away from our home because that's where our leaders lived. And so the drive time, the miles, the fuel, all these things added up month over month. I mean, these trips to go on these events were upwards of, $600, $700, $800 for a couple minimum. And because you got to pay for hotels, you got to pay for the tickets, you got to pay for food and drinks and all that stuff. And so when I looked at our affiliate marketing business, Our expenses were a fraction of that. And on top of that, I was making more money building an online-based business from home. And so we looked at the total revenue, and what I found out is in 1 month, okay, back in the month of April 2021, we made more money in our affiliate marketing business than the entire 12 months combined previous in our Amway business. But that wasn't the first time we'd done that. Back in September of 2020, did that then too. Had a really good month and made more money in 1 month than the entire year before that with Amway. So the choice was simple, right? Go to affiliate marketing. So July of this year, 2021, my wife and I made the actual difficult decision to leave Amway. Now, the reason it was difficult was not because we loved the Amway business. It was not because we loved the money that was coming in, because obviously we were in the red every month. We weren't going into debt, but we were taking money out of pocket to continue to pay for that business. And even though the business was paying for some of the expenses, it wasn't paying for all of them. What was hard for us were the relationships that we built. And I will tell you that the thing that really solidified our decision was the fact that when we made the decision to leave, there are people in the business that used to reach out to us all the time that no longer talk to us. Now I get it. We're not part of their business anymore. They don't want to, meddle in what we're doing. They don't want to risk us telling them how good it is over here or maybe how bad it is over here compared to how they are. Whatever the case may be, I get it. But the difficult piece was the fact that Amway wasn't a complete waste. It taught us a lot of things. It taught us how we can manage our money better, which has helped us get out of debt, or not completely, but a lot of debt paid off, tens of thousands of dollars paid off in debt. It helped us figure out how we can create better relationships with people. And it really opened the door for building an online-based business. And the reason I say all that is because I don't believe that the business itself was terrible. And the people that we were around were great. Now, there are other people within the Amway business and other network marketing and MLM companies that are not so great. They can even be kind of toxic at times, and they can treat people like crap. That wasn't my experience personally. And regardless of the opinions that other people have, I believe that this was the motivation I needed to really kickstart my online business career. And so since then, we have been putting together a lot of things. My wife, Katie, she works a lot in the background. I do a lot of the front end marketing. And so here I am. I make videos on YouTube and TikTok mostly. And I run a podcast with a buddy of mine called Those Two Dads, where we talk about marketing and entrepreneurship while also being a dad and a husband and running a family and, building a family and, just what it's like to balance those things. And we both still have day jobs because that's a stream of income for us right now until it gets replaced by affiliate marketing, which every day gets closer and closer to that day. And the other thing that I do is I also help people start their online journey because I've spent time going through different courses trying to find the best ones that actually not only make the best and the quickest money, but the most residual income. Because I believe that there's a power there in having residual income that comes in month over month, and you put a little bit of effort in and it pays you over and over again. And all in all, I have no regrets of spending the years trying to make network marketing work with the Amway business. It allowed me to see how other people have made it work. I realized that my passions live elsewhere, and I started taking actions on the things that I want to do better. And here's the thing, right? It's okay. You don't have to be some big time hotshot to be in the online world.
Wow.
You can start out just like everybody else. I don't care if you start out in network marketing, MLM, crypto, whatever the case may be, trading, it doesn't matter. Wherever you start, the online business world is where it's at. In reality, it wasn't anything to gawk at first. So what I recommend is that if you're interested in starting your own online business with some of the best people in the industry while also earning some of the highest commissions possible, 80% commissions, I mean, come on, Check out the link down below. I'm going to have it in the description. I'm also going to pin it on the first comment. That is my number one recommendation to start a business online. It's not network marketing. It's not MLM. It's not crypto. It's not trading. It's affiliate marketing. It's people who have built products, in this case, a funnel builder, a traffic and conversions program, and an overall training and coaching program that can literally help people change the course of their lives and make it so much better for them. And I can promise you that there has not been a program out there that I've seen, and I've spent about $30,000 in different programs over the last 12 months to find the best programs. And I have never seen a program like this myself. And the people that have created the program put so much effort into serving others, even serving the Feed My Starving Children Foundation with a portion of their profits, and giving away 80% commission on all of their products. That's pretty amazing in itself. So if you haven't already, give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell for more content coming up so you're notified whenever I bring out new content, and let's grow together.